Alrighty, we are live streaming. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're here in the Zoom room. Now, if you're listening to us and you're watching us on Zoom, on Facebook or YouTube right now, and you speak Spanish, you're missing out on the interpretation because that's only happening live in this room right now. In fact, I'm just going to copy and paste something that was said by Alfredo. So there you go. There is translation at the bottom of the room. So welcome online, ladies and gentlemen. So today's session has been requested because I'll tell you some interesting thing. Our corporate team is amazing. Anton produced the best set of explanatory slides we have ever seen in how to understand the compensation plan. And in their individual chunks, they are fantastic. And now that I've just realized, hang on a sec, guys, I'm going to mute everybody. And then I'm going to allow you to unmute Alfredo because you're a co-host. Just one sec. I forgot to do that. Muted. All right. We're good. You're still good, Alfredo? Yep. Fantastic. All right. Just because someone accidentally unmuted themselves. Where was I? Yes, corporate team's amazing. Anton's amazing. The slides on their individual components are fantastic. You can understand what Power 3 does and this does. But unfortunately, as Crowns, we just said in the field, when you're in the driver's seat, strapped in, and you know how to explain it, the slides left some dangling bits between some parts. So we used to have a compensation plan explainer set of slides, which was an 18-minute presentation that everyone used to send to people after they had watched the normal presentation to understand the comp plan. We have re-recorded that. It's now available, and I'll show you where that is at the end. Today, I'm going to go through a slower pace to make sure everyone understands every component. And my aim is to empower you that if you had these slides, you could explain it. Now, some of you are going, that's right. You're always got to walk before you run, okay? So I'm going to get in here and hop into the explanatory side of what we do and really hone in on certain components. So this set of slides is the similar look and feel that we had when we did it ourselves in the field back in the day, but it's incorporated some of the slides that corporate have given us. So here we go. Please, I can't implore you enough to do this. Get out a pen and paper, make some notes. The bluntest pencil remembers more than the sharpest mind. If you don't take notes, how on earth are you ever going to be able to explain the compensation plan yourself? Okay. So number one, we're no longer hiding. What do I mean? Let me just change the slides here. We're not hiding, meaning we are coming out guns blazing, proud and loud about the fact that we have things in our compensation plan no one else has. Number one, $1 volume. What does that mean? No reduction, no conversion rate, no hidden maths. Now, this is important because a lot of companies will say, oh, yeah, we pay the same as Neumi. We pay 53% of the BV. And we're like, oh, hang on. 53% of the BV could be as low as 24 cents in the dollar. Oh, did you not know that? That's why we broadcast and we're proud and loud that we only have a 1-to-1 ratio. We also proudly say, and I just did a launch for someone 20 minutes ago, that we say we pay 53 cents in the dollar, or 53% as the payout, and that does not include our promotions. It does not include incentive trips and so forth. With most companies on Business for Home, where you see them transparently paying what they're paying, are saying that's what they pay as an actual dollar, and the actual dollar is usually between 24 cents in the dollar up to 39 cents in the dollar. Sometimes companies that have non-physical products can go up as high as we do, but most don't. Because if they did, they would probably go broke. And I'll just want to show you this because I'm going to show you this now. If you took a kilogram of ingredient and made capsules, like when I was involved in the glutathione precursor days, feels like an antique these days because they're old technology, but they were great in their day. The glutathione precursors, if you made capsules, a kilogram of ingredients will make 200 to 400 bottles of product, and then you've got to work out your profitability. That's why they pay maybe the maximum of 39 in most cases. Most of this goes down the toilet. Okay, we know that, 90%. So the name of the game is more milligrams. But the truth is most goes down the toilet. We can take the same kilogram of ingredients and make 10,000 bottles. Did you hear that right? 400, 10,000. Yes. That's why this is half the price of most glutathione precursors, a third of the price of one company out there. If you compare it with liposomals, they say, oh, that's the same price. No. You need one for glutathione, one for curcumin, one for cysteine, one for vitamin C. Now you're 4 times the price. There's no one coming close to our prices. And I share that with you because that's why they can't, because of that kilogram of ingredient, they cannot pay what we pay. Okay. Then it's about how much do you divvy up in what way. So I'm going to talk about that as we go through. Now, to kick off, just to understand the ranks in your brain, if you are brand new and you just joined, you are a new member. How do you become a senior member? Well, all the way through the compensation plan, we can see we just need 100 PV, all the way to crown, and then beyond that, double crown, triple crown, president. Now, I want to point this out. We are a field-driven company. When the compensation plan was designed, we know that most companies out there, or maybe you don't know, as you grow a bigger business, they will say, no, no, you need more personal volume, more customers, more purchasing. When we started, I remember Alex saying, why do companies do that? And if the only reason is company profits, let's eliminate that. So this is what happens when a compensation plan is designed with the field involved. So we don't have to pay more or have more personal use in order to go through the ranks. So you can see here, once you have a total turnover of 1,500 from your team down, you'll become a senior member, which will unlock more parts of the compensation plan. Then as you hit 1 star with 5,000 group turnover, you'll unlock more parts of the compensation plan, etc., etc. So I want to point one thing out here, and I'm only going to speak from my perspective, because if I talked about how to become a president, I would be a hypocrite. And that's because I've not done it. And nothing is more annoying than theoretical BS. So I will give you actual examples. So I have hit the crown rank, and the crown says you just need 6 1-star legs. So I'm going to use that to work back from in this compensation plan today, because it's real and I'm talking to you as a crown. 6 1-star legs is all you need. And you go, yeah, but hang on, Michael, you need $500,000 in volume. Let me explain something to you. For those who are new to the industry, if someone has a very well structured business and it was 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 6 teams wide, and it was exactly the same volume in each leg, that is a very, very badly structured, poorly structured business. It actually says that the person has not empowered anyone. So the truth is, if you build the way we talk about, which is not 3 teams wide, it is 6 teams wide, by the time you get your 6th 1 star in place, I will guarantee you, I'll swear on my grave, my kids' graves, my family's grave, everyone's graves, that you will have leg number 1 as a gigantic leg. It's normal for a healthy, well-produced business. Leg 1 takes off. Now, for me, leg 1 was doing $1 million a month by the time I hit a 1 star in leg 6. Why? Because I'd empowered people along the way, which meant leg 1 didn't need me because leg 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were. Okay. So I share that with you because when someone sees crown is $500,000 and 6 1-star teams, they get daunted by the $500,000. Forget the $500,000. Forget it. All you got to focus on is this compensation plan, which you'll see me say again at the end. Power of 3 leads to 1 star. 1 star leads to every single rank. That's it. You can surmise it that way. Power of 3 is the engine room that starts the engine and gets it off the ground. Then you're no longer focusing on power 3 ongoing. You're then focusing on the other bonuses because it's a transitional bonus to get the engine going. And that'll get you to 1 star. So we're going to go through, as I said, this is a slower pace today with a lot more rhetoric and conversation going on in between so that you can understand it. There is a 20-minute recording of this now sitting on the YouTube channel that you can give, which is much more succinct. So as I said, if you want to get to crown 6 1-star legs, ignore that figure. That'll happen if you just get the 6 1-stars and you empower along the way rather than building 3 teams wide, which is fraught with danger. So here is how it works. Let's look at a practical example so you can understand how all the bonuses fit together. Now, before I do, I want to say this. I just remembered. We have a new leader coming on board in the team who's in a new country you haven't heard of. I'm not going to tell you. I'll get shot by corporate if I do. But we're doing a trial and a test with something recently. This guy has had as much success as Alex and I put together. And he said when he read the compensation plan enhancements, and I want you all to hear this clearly because he has so much experience and wisdom, he said, and I quote, "What I love about your compensation plan enhancements is the old power of 3 gave poor guidance on how to build your business, and it encouraged organizational re-engineering to maintain a check." We kept saying this. Alex taught me build 6 wide, 6 or 7 wide, in fact, and then help the businesses grow. And anyone else you put in, just put in those teams. He said, never fill out all three of a power three for someone because it just teaches them it's a welfare, mentality. He said, just drive one leg down underneath each of the six legs or seven legs if you want an insurance policy. And that's what I did. I hit Crown in 12 months. Alex's advice was sage. How? Alex had been a Crown. If anyone's giving you advice on how to structure your business and hasn't become a Crown and they're telling you to do something different than Alex, success leaves clues, guys. I would encourage you to follow the advice of the guy who helped design the comp plan. So let's get kicking off. So what does it look like in a practical example? Well, first off, we need 100 PV to be active. And you notice we only have two products showing on the screen. Why is that? Well, just so you know, as we launch a new country, we will always only launch with these two products first. And then you justify the investment in that country with other products as you grow the business. So if your country is still sitting on these two, the only roadblock between that and this is get more volume. Okay, so we need to justify that investment in a country to take it beyond these two. I built to Crown on those two, didn't have anything else. And if I can build a Crown with two products, every single person can build a Crown with two products. All the rest, people aren't going to spend more money. They're still going to print 100 PV because it's called wallet share. Just because you've got 7 products or 5 products plus 3 more coming, I won't say any more, in a few weeks, when you see all these products, it doesn't mean people are going to spend more. It just means they've got more money to spend their wallet share on. And we're one of the lowest wallet shares in the market. Some of the glutathione precursor companies require you to spend 400, 500, $1,000 just to get started. We don't have to do that rubbish. So when you purchase 100 PV and you start with these two products in pretty much any market around the world, you will receive free tools, wholesale pricing, and we do not believe in membership fees. Now, again, sing that from a rooftop. When you're talking about this, there is a company out there, I won't mention names, but they have a $10 subscription per month, which I like to refer to as the money game, because they say you don't have to buy the products, just pay for that and you get wholesale pricing on the products. You guys get wholesale pricing without paying a subscription every month. Why would you pay $120 a year to access something that you get for free? Crazy. So why would you do that? So here is the starting block. Then as you grow your business, 100 PV is easily achieved as the range continues to expand around the world. As I said, you'll end up with the next product, the next product, the next product, and more coming. Hold that thought for the summit. So the customer volume now in the enhancements to the compensation plan can count towards your personal volume to stay active. But first part of the compensation plan enhancements, I want to say buyer beware. What do I mean? I would be an absolute hypocrite if I said these products are awesome. I don't use them, but they're awesome. I heard it from a friend. So, hey, do you want to join my business? You'd be like, what a hypocrite. You don't use them? You've got to be kidding me. So that's why it's important to start with the bare minimum of buying 2 products yourself. So you have your story. Having said that, always remember your personal story is still very one-dimensional. Even if you were dead and you suddenly became alive, it's still one-dimensional. And people go, what do you mean? Well, I don't have to have some crazy thing happen in my life health-wise and then recover from that with thanks to Neumi to say the products work, because there is millions of servings around the world and there's stories galore and testimonials. People have busted world records. I don't have to lift 512 kilograms on a bench press to prove this works in sports. We have Bill, right? So your story is important. So get your products, but remember it's not relevant to the next person you talk to, because if you have a burning bush experience and you go out and do 1,000 kilograms on a bench press, it doesn't mean the next guy is going to. So quit thinking that your story is critical for your expansion. It's not. It's one-dimensional and it's important for you, and that's all. Okay. So 2 products. So we move on from there. But that's what I was going to say. Now, let's say the second month or the third month after you've used the products and you've got a good story, something happens financially. Let's say you get a big bill and you're a single mom and you're like, I've got money coming in from Neumi, but I need it to pay the bills and I can't afford to buy both the bottles of product. That's where it kicks in. So your customers that you've recruited, their volume can attribute to yours. So just being clear, if I sponsor someone downline who is a member and they purchase, it does not count to my 100 PV. It never will. A member is isolated with them and their own customers. But any customers on the side that I sponsor, their volume could make up my 100 PV. So at the end of the second month, let's say I'm financially skint, and I buy 1 bottle of product, but a customer buys one, boom, now I've got 100 PV. Obviously, I can't be paid customer commissions on the volume that I took from the customer for my personal PV because that's double dipping. Can't pay it twice. But that volume could make up part of my personal volume. In fact, if I purchased nothing, but I have customers purchasing, if two products were purchased, 100 PV, I'm still active. And again, I don't get paid commission on that. But buyer beware. If you're just assuming your customers are going to buy, if you get to the end of the next month and no customer did, or heaven forbid, someone places an order and then changes their mind, returns it before the end of the month, and you thought you had 100 PV and you didn't, your commissions will automatically compress dynamically to the person above you. So it's on you, your responsibility. Don't go to your upline and say, oh, you didn't remind me. None of their business, your business. You've got to make sure you get 100 PV one way or the other. Up to you. Okay. So yes, you can capitalize on the fact that customer volume can count. An influencer might do that because they throw a lot of mud against the wall and hope it sticks, and that's great. But in that case, just understand that first one, the PV can come from customers, but stay authentic and use the product. Now, moving right along, there is now not 7, but 8 ways you can profit. Did you know we added one? Ooh. So there is weekly commission and monthly commissions. And I like to refer to them as buckets because it came out of Aaron's mouth when we first launched, and it makes very simple sense to explain the comp plan, hence these slides. So in the weekly commissions, there is 3 different commissions. In the monthly commissions, there are 5. Write that down. In the weekly commissions, there is 3 separate commissions. In the monthly commissions, there is 5. So in the weekly, there is retail highlighted in red, and it says non-NFR market. What does that mean? Well, it means if you are in a fully operational market, Indonesia, fully registered product on the ground with BPOM, which is the local TGA. They can buy a bottle of product for $50 and sell it to a non-member in the street for a profit. Okay. And in fact, you can sell it for $1 million if you like, right? It's no cap, but the minimum is if you're selling retail, it's a $65 retail product. So you can't sell it less than 50. If you do, you can get terminated because we're protecting the price parity of 50 as the minimum you'll purchase it anywhere in the world. Keep that in mind. So retailing is only relevant if you're fully operational. I'm in Australia. If I bought this bottle of product and then sold it to a non-member, this market is NFR, not for retail. If I do that, I'm breaking the law, and I can actually get a fine of $700,000 and go to jail. So you do not sell a product in a non-fully operational market. You get everybody else to become a preferred customer and or a member purchasing off the website. In case you don't know what NFR means, not for retail. So there are a lot of NFR markets in the world. So the first one, the retail sales, most people never do. These two is what most people do, which is preferred customers and welcome pack purchases. So here is you on the left-hand top, and anyone you introduce, you will earn 25% on their purchase. Now, let me break it down though, and this is the important part to understand. Let's say I introduced Kevin, who I can see on the camera right now, and he became a member to build the business. I'll get 25% on anything he purchases. So let's give you a couple of hypotheticals. Kevin's going to build hard and fast. He's not just going to buy 100 PV because he's smart. He's building fast. He will buy his 100 PV, then he'll buy some more product to have it on hand, ready to grow his business. He might buy a $300 pack or a $500 pack on top of that up front, and I'll get paid 25% on all of that. So let's say he bought 100 PV on his auto ship to stay active. I'll get 25% on that. But if he, in the first month, if he's buying a product, if he then bought a pack of products of $500, for example, well, I'll end up getting $125 commission on that one. Now, I will get, and you will get, 25% commission on any members for the first 30 days of their business, known as the enrollment period. After the 30 days, all future member purchases get pushed into the monthly commissions, and you get 5 commissions there instead of the 25%. Just so we're clear. So first 30 days, 25% on any purchase he purchases, including his packs he's going to buy because he needs a product in the cupboard if he's smart, right? Then customers. I'm looking at Jackie Gemel, right, in New Zealand. Let's say Jackie becomes a customer instead. Well, I will also still get 25% for life. Every time she purchases, if she purchases a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, I'll still get 25% because customer purchases stay in the weekly commissions. Now, in the member's case, so Kevin's a member, as he introduces people, I can earn another 6 generations at 3%. You immediately qualify for 3 levels. So as soon as you join as a member, remember those slides I showed you at the start, where it's member, then senior member, then 1 star, you will automatically qualify for the first 3 levels in the first month. Then next month, if you've rank advanced to, say, senior member, you'll unlock level 4. If you rank advanced to 1 star, you'll unlock level 5. Rank advanced to 2 star, level 6. Rank advanced to 3 star, level 7. So that's how you unlock more levels. But it's important to point this out. You see this red line, it's so important. Member volume stays for the first 30 days, known as the enrollment period, with welcome packs, and preferred customer commissions stay there for life. So you see that little splash going from the left to the right? This slides are very important. I tried to explain to my new big leader in another language how this worked, and until I had this slide, it didn't make any sense to him. As soon as I did, he's like, oh, okay. Because he was asking me, so I get 25% and then I get all these other commissions from, so I'm getting paid twice on the members with 6 different commissions. No, you're being paid on the weekly commissions for the first 30 days, then it trickles into the next bucket, and now you're going to get 5 commissions on member purchases from the second month onwards. Okay, now let's talk about that. The very first goal you have is to follow the power of 3. Now, the power of 3 is a transitional bonus. It's not your only focus. That was the problem in the past. Only a tiny percentage of people in the world were doing this, but some people were only coached to build 3 wide and then stack people underneath. Bad, it all collapses. Trust me, we've seen it in 5 years. It collapses if you do that. We were taught to go 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, and then build down each legs, and that's how we build. So the new power of 3 says it's all about you, and it's not about engineering anyone's structure or giving someone a free check without lifting a finger. So the first one is $50. That's the roadmap. What do we want you to do first? Go out there, get the word out, and try and find yourself 3 members, not customers, 3 members. So that's why the power of 3 only pays in the second month, because we don't have any member volume in the monthly commissions until the second month, because they were paid in the weekly. I hope that's making sense now. So power 3 level 1 is $50. Power 3 level 2 is you actually go out and find 3 more. You'll earn $100. You can do that in the first 30 days. A lot of people do. I just launched someone here in Australia. That's exactly what she's on track for. In fact, she's on track for doing this from her online launch, which only happened a few days ago. And that means once you introduce 9 or more people, instead of just 6, you can earn $250 per month from that. Now, in case you're wondering, do you build 6 wide, 9 wide? No, talk to your coach, but no, we'd encourage you to build probably 6 or 7 wide. I only built 7 to get an insurance policy. If leg 6 got wobbly, I've got another leg 6, that's all. But then we drove depth in those 6 legs. So the power of 3 is frontline. Once you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what are you going to do with person number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc.? You're going to go in and position them at the bottom of a leg somewhere and keep driving the depth, okay? So personally sponsored people can be moved, and that's where we use something which is called the placement suite in the back office, okay? Now you notice that we have the waterline slowly growing on the right. Why is that? Well, there's a visual to say this. On the left, you can see the splashes happening in the weekly commission because that is active income. It's just designed to get you to get out there fast and really hit it hard and recruit. Your monthly commissions are more reliable and solid because it's based on ongoing member purchases, including auto ship. So on that note, auto ship is the lifeblood of the business. When you start somebody, if they go and purchase a pack and they haven't got an auto ship, make a note in your calendar to go back a week later and say, hey, have we set up your auto ship? That's on you as a good upline to make sure you check and say, let's get that set up. Because in a month from now, after the first 30 days, if someone doesn't have an auto ship and they don't place a manual order instead, and they don't have an order, once they get to a certain point, they will be non-active, not active for commissions. And then if they sponsored 1,000 people, they won't earn 1 cent from that. It'll all go directly up to them, to the next person. So auto ship, make a note, always go back to your people and get them set up with their auto ship pretty quickly. So placement suite, as your personal team grows, remember to use the placement suite to position your personally sponsored 2 team members downline once you've filled your first 6 teams. And again, check with your coach, because some people, like Alex, taught me to go 7 wide. You just check with your coach, okay? I'm not your coach. Now, with dynamic positioning, how does that work? Well, let me give you a real example. So when I was building my business, I introduced my good friend Dean Stubbs, who's on the medical advisory board. And Dean went out and introduced a mate of his, Rowan, who was big in the past. And I thought he'd light it up. Don't always expect everyone to light it up a second time round. That hasn't happened yet. And I'm like, well, that leg's not going fast enough for me. So I had a new guy that joined me. His name was Larry, and I put Larry there. So I personally sponsored Larry, and I placed him 3 people down in the uni level. So why would I do that? Well, then he went on and introduced Karen Justice, and the rest is history, right? I needed a neck brace. Um, so what happens in the weekly commissions? Well, Larry's still considered first level to me, even though he's down here. It's irrelevant. So you don't lose your 25% when you're placing somebody. Okay, your weekly commissions stay exactly the same. And anything Karen does in the weekly commissions, I get paid second generation on that, and so on and so forth. So why would you position someone? Well, this is a really good question. Why? In case you don't know this, if you go 6 wide, it's going to be a lot of work to do. If you go 7, it's going to be more work to do. It'd be like spinning plates. By the time you're on the 7th, you're running back to the first and spinning that plate. You've seen that in the circus in the past. If you go 9 wide and leave them 9 wide, now you've got 9 teams to build. Now, I don't mind saying this transparently. I built to Crown, and when I built to Crown, I had 7 teams at Alex's advice, and the 7th team was just an insurance policy. But then down under that, I was working with a friend of mine, and I helped him to build a diamond business. And he went to the first diamond retreat. His name was Warren. Warren never lifted a finger. I did do that for him. That was a mate's understanding. Warren didn't lift a finger. The business never stayed at diamond. Why is that? Michael can't build 10 teams and be everything to everybody. There's my learning for you. Go 2 wide, you're going to drop some balls. I did. And I had to drop the ball on that team and go, you know what? I'm defending my Crown business. I'm not going to go wider till it's all in place at presidential. And then I'll think about going beyond those first few legs. So by placing people into teams, it means that you can help drive momentum. For example, I sponsored a new person in Germany recently, and I went down and I've gone, well, there's my team with Phoebe, and underneath that is Kevin, and where I placed Kevin, and underneath that is, Kevin and his wife, she speaks German, perfect. Put her in that team and bang, get her some support. What I don't do, check with your coach, but I'm just saying it. If you want to see, I can see around corners because I've seen people run off a cliff face. If I put 3 people under people to help them achieve their power of 3 in the past, was a bad move. All it did was teach welfare. Now you've got no incentive to do that anyway. So don't. That's why we've taken it away. So just drive 1 leg underneath. And then that's like, how could I put it? With a chicken, actually, I had a conversation with someone who launched the other day. We were talking about mother hen. Mother hen goes, oh, I've got to look after my little chickies. I'll just put all 3 people in for them and help them. You kill the chicken. By opening up the eggshell, it doesn't struggle, so it just dies. Whereas if you put 1 person down and keep driving depth and go, hey, keep building your other legs, I'm working down here, that's called driving depth. That is continuing to work down the bottom. It helps everyone up the line. It causes some excitement. That's what the placement suite's for. Keep yourself no wider than maybe 6 teams. Again, check with your coach. What happens in the monthly commissions? Well, let's use the example. So I placed Larry 3 levels down. So what happens? Well, Larry is down here now. So all I lose is I've lost the first 2 levels of the uni level by placing him further down. But I could see that it would cause a lot of enthusiasm as the rest grew, and it did. So let's now look at a couple of hypotheticals as you start your business. So here's you. What's the first thing you're going to do? Well, you've heard about Neumi cycles, haven't you? When you watched your orientation, it said Neumi cycles is a baby step that anyone, even with a full-time job, can do. What's a cycle? 10 calls today, 10 calls tomorrow, 10 calls the next day, and or 10 texts, 10 texts, 10 texts, whatever, just 30 contacts, 30 invitations, and then follow up with an upline doing 3-way Zooms with you for the rest of the week. That's the Neumi cycle process we teach. Now, out of that, my opinion, just based on my feedback, I have seen an average of 10% is the sponsorship rate. So that means some people will get 3 members out of that cycle. Some people will get more. I could get way more than that, but I know what I'm talking about. A brand new person with no one on the follow-ups on their 3-way Zooms will probably get a poor result because you don't know the answer to the question. This is why the Neumi 1, 2, 3, step 2 upline support is so imperative, because I can improve the results of that person by being involved in the follow-up. So if you did that, well, get your return on investment. There is the first step. Maybe you got 3 customers, sorry, 3 members and maybe a couple of customers. With the 25% welcome bonus, boom, you're now in the black. You paid $100 plus shipping for your products and boom, you got 125 back. Now, this example shows 600 PV because this person's done 100 PV, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. That's 600. And of course, I want to tell you the average around the world is 200. Why? Wouldn't it be 100? No. Remember what I said? Only those people poking it with a stick purchased just 100 PV. The people who are growing, like a Kevin, went out then and bought an extra box of products to have some on hand to get to people fast so their orders didn't have to wait. So the average around the world in real terms is 200, just so you know. It's not 100. 100 is the bare minimum, and that's not what most people are doing. They're going beyond that because they need some extra product to grow their business. Now, let's do another example of the power of three. What if instead you went looking for more people and you sponsored another 3 and a few more customers? Now, in the first 2 weeks of your business, doing 2 cycles, you could earn $250 out of 2 cycles. Now, again, this example is 1100 PV and the average is closer to 200. So it's quite understated. Now, why do I show you these? If you said 3 by 3 by 3, how many people, type it in the chat. I just want to see how many people are going to get the numbers on this one without pulling out your calculators like I am. 3 by 3 by 3 is, come on. Oh, this is a good question. Someone's typed in it. I'm here, Michael. Feel free to drive under me. Whose responsibility is it to drive under you? Your sponsor, not the upline crown, not the upline diamond, your sponsor. The word sponsor is responsible for you. Okay, some people are having a laugh because I'm adamant about this. If I was to put someone under everyone, right, then I will have to put people under 130,000 people. I can't help everyone. I can only help the people I sponsor, and they can help the people they sponsor, and they can help the people they sponsor. Now, if you end up with someone underneath you, consider it a amazing gratitude, right? And it's a bonus, right? But don't expect your crown to be the one doing everyone placing under everyone. Now, Gloria said the right figure, 27, yeah? So 3 by 3 by 3 is 27. Why did I show you that example? Well, what if we did 6 by 6 by 6 instead? Yeah, you're going, okay, well, that'll be double that. That'll be 27 times 2. Yeah, probably. No. 216. Hang on. From 27 to 216. Why did I show you that? Don't restrict yourself to 3 wide. If you duplicate 6 to 16, not 27. That's why Alex said go wider. That's why Alex said don't stop, keep introducing. So 3 is the baby step we've positioned for the person who is a nervous Nelly who goes, I don't know anyone. So they can at least get to 3. It's not the ultimate, it's the minimum. Okay. So the power of 3, you do 3, then 6, then 9, you keep going. And what happens if you get more than 9 people? Do you get $250 twice? No, you're always going to get that maximum payout of 250. Let's move on. Power of 3 starts the engine. Then your next goal to run to the next carrot is what? You're going to look for ranks. And the first rank you're going to choose to stop at, or not even stop at, pass real fast, is 1 star. Now we've put a whole heap of money in rank advancement bonuses. As soon as you hit 1 star for the first time, which you could earn this in the second month of your business, you would earn an extra $500 one-time payment once you hit that the first time. Once you then continue past that and go, what's my next goal? I want to be a 2 star. Once you hit 2 star and hold it 2 times, they don't have to be consecutive, just hit it and then hit it again sometime within a 6-month period, ideally back to back. But if not, once you've done it twice within 6-month period, boom, 1,000 US. Do 3 star, 2,000 when you do the same. Diamond, 5,000. Now, this is, I don't know if I'm using the right word or spelling, cumulative. This is a culmination, meaning if you were to go, and this has and will happen again, someone might do a massive launch instead of poking it with a stick or just doing cycles and go, here's 100 people online. They might go straight through in their first week, 3, 6, 9 people, $250 commissions and more. And then in the next month, they may go through 1 star to 2 star and then 3 star and even diamond in 3 months. Been done a lot. If they do, when they hit diamond, they'll get all of them, the diamond, the 3 star, the 2 star, the 1 star, all get paid. So it's not you get one or the other, you get all of them. You can group them up, which is awesome. So that's the incentives. Then we move into the uni level. Now, the uni level, just like the weekly commission, starts 3 levels deep. And we know, how do we get access to level 4, 5, 6, and 7? We rank advance. We grow a bigger business. Yeah. Okay. So here we are. When we get to senior member, then we'll have 4 levels deep. Then we get to 1 star 5, 2 star 6, 3 star 7. Now you've got all the uni level maxed out. And at diamond, double diamond, triple diamond stays the same. And then we add a little extra percent as a cherry on the top for crowns on level 7, which you might say, 1%, that's not a lot. Level 7, if you've built wide, will be very profitable with an extra 1%. In fact, I like saying this to people. If you think of it, and this is a crazy example, and I know it's a weird and stupid one, but it's the only way I can do it. Biggest franchise in the world, McDonald's. So which would you prefer? Pretend that's a hamburger. Do you want to earn $3 on a hamburger or 10 cents on a million hamburgers? I'll have the 10 cents on a million hamburgers. Thanks. Why? Because that's what Ray Kroc does, earning a tiny percentage on a huge amount of volume. That's why 1% doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you have a crown business with thousands or hundreds of thousands of people in your business. All right, then we move into the infinity bonus. Now, I love this. I did this before the infinity bonus came in because I understand network marketing leadership. Network marketing leadership says I should not just be working in my front line or the next line or the next line. I should be down the bottom of every leg somewhere. Perfect example, the person who said, hey, put someone in my team. Unfortunately, their sponsor, I already put an entire country under them without them doing anything, and that's one of their legs. So I can't be putting them all over every single person's leg, can I, right? So when it comes to the driving depth, you want to be down 20, 30, 20 levels deep, 30 levels deep. I was doing a launch just before for someone just before this event who is a downline of a diamond, who's downline of a previously qualified crown, who's no longer with the company, a downline of a double crown. Now, why would I work as a double underneath a double crown? Because I'm driving depth and that's my job, keeping at the bottom of every business. Okay. Now, I can't be everywhere, but I certainly am in that case. So the infinity bonus pays me for that because once you get beyond level 8 to infinity, as a diamond, you'll get a 0.5% bonus for your efforts outside of that. That's why we're doing that, because we want you to work outside of the uni level, right? And you'll end up with a maximum payout of 2,500. Now, in case you're understanding comp plans and don't understand this, if you are a diamond and you've just sponsored someone who becomes a diamond, you're going, oh, everyone else's comp plans, I won't get that infinity bonus from that team. Well, you're doing ours. You're both getting paid on the same infinity, level 8 and beyond. So it doesn't rule you out because you've got someone downline. Instead, we just cap it at a maximum payment. So it's really fair. You can have multiple people getting infinity bonuses on the same people. Then when you double diamond, we double it to 1% with 5,000, triple diamond, 10,000 at 1.5, crown, 2%, 15,000. These are the bits that are exciting me now. I'm running towards it. Double crown, $30,000 on just the infinity bonus. Triple crown, 50. That's fun. Presidential, $100,000 cap on one bonus. I want you to know this is just the one bonus. There's a gentleman that I was in a taxi with in Thailand who's in the team now, who's earned $150,000 a month from another company, is now with us. And he said, can you earn that? And he blindly assumed we were all earning that when we had the crown. And then I spoke about what a crown earns, and it was not anywhere near 150,000 a month. And now he's like, okay, well, now he can earn the same sorts of dollars he has in the past in this company. So we put that in place because, believe it or not, guys, I'm happy at Crown, don't get me wrong, but there are people in the world going, is that all? And they're big leaders in other companies. And if we didn't have those high ranks, we wouldn't attract those sorts of people. And those sorts of people can turn Neumi into a multi-billion-dollar company, and they're not going to have the billionaire attitude of earning the dollars and not giving back. They're going to be servant leaders, and they're going to make a difference to thousands and thousands of people's lives, bring through 1 stars, bring through power of 3, bring through new diamonds, and they're going to help lots of people. And that's why we're paying them, because of their expertise to do that. So you can earn all of those ranks. And then moving on, we then have the leadership bonus pool. And what happens is 4% of global monthly volume. So in other words, just so you're paying attention, 4% of member purchases, because customer volume never gets to the monthlies, remember? So 4% of monthly purchases from members is put into a pool, 4 different pools, and you earn 1% per pool. Now, if you're a diamond, let's say, and I'm going to make up figures here, let's say there's 60 diamonds in the world, and let's say a figure goes in there, it's split between 60 people, that's your shares. Let's say the same 1% figure gets put in another pool and there's only 3 crowns, then it gets divvied up between the 3 crowns. Okay, obviously that share would be bigger than this share, even though it's the same pool. I love this because for example, I don't have a business in Romania, but my beautiful friends Crossline do, and I'm profit sharing on their amazing growth. I have a small business in Italy, and I look at David's business and go, "Holy moly, he's got the monolithic business in Italy," and I'm proud of them, Crossline, and encouraging my friends Crossline. That's awesome, my cousins. But I don't have a big business like he does, but I'm profit sharing on that. Now, he doesn't have a business in Indonesia. He's profit sharing on what I'm doing. That's fair. That's awesome. It's a great incentive. So the crown earns a share from every tier. So in other words, if you are a crown, you'll earn all 4%. If you are a triple diamond, you'll earn all three. If you're a double diamond, you'll earn two, and then a diamond earns one. Okay? Now, everything I just said will come back together now so you can understand it. So again, monthly PV, whoops, back where monthly PV, 100 PV, sorry guys, 100 PV all the way through. 1,500 makes you a senior member. We unlock another level in the weekly and the monthly. Remember, 5,000, we unlock another level. 10,000 unlock level. And this is the first rank that is a true leadership rank. And I'm not trying to be derogatory to the 2 stars and 1 stars, but you can get to 2 star and 1 star just by sponsoring people. And that's great, but that's not network marketing, that's sales. So some people go, 1 star, 5,000, look at me. And they haven't actually duplicated themselves. It may stay there. So this is why we talk about the Neumi 123, the orientation, following up with people, working out how fast they want to go, supporting those people. I'm smarter to do the launch I just did down the bottom of a line than do it and go sponsor someone personally now because I'm helping the business grow. My role is helping. So if you know the 4 quadrants that Alex has taught from day one, number 1 is learn to do. So watch your upline, listen to them, have them present, have them follow up, listen, learn. Next quadrant is do what you've learned. So start doing 3-way calls and copying what your upline said and what have you. The next one is teach, right? So teach what you've done. And that's usually a diamond. If you're starting to teach what you do at a 1 star, you're out of whack. Get yourself to a high rank so you can teach what you've actually done, not theory, right? Get your upline diamond supporting in that. And then the final one is teach to teach. So my role is helping bring up new presenters, not me presenting all the time. That's why we have people becoming presenters on the weekly presenting thing. But we don't want them to experiment on your people if they're brand new. They're going to experiment on their own people first to see if they can present at all. Okay, this is all about empowering. That's what I'm getting at. So that's why this is the first true rank, leadership rank. Why? Because they've taught and duplicated a 1 star. And then you can see diamond and so forth. Now, one thing I haven't said in here, I'm going to cover now, is the 50% rule. Some people, unfortunately, let's say you sponsor someone downline, the person does 5,000 PV, you go, I've got 5,000 PV, I'm a 1 star. No, you're not. You need to have a maximum of 50% of anything in one leg can count towards your rank. Give me an example, I'll show you. Let's say you hit senior member and you've got 1,500 PV turning over in your team. You're going, I'm a senior member, yay. Well, the 50% rule comes into play. So no more than 50% of a rank's requirement can come from one leg. So here is something saying, look, Michael, you have in leg 1, you have 3,000 turning over and you've just you've hit the senior member, which requires 1,500 points. It's saying, even though there's 3,000 in there, only half of the rank of 1,500 can count from that leg. So 750 is the maximum I can count. And then I'll need 750 spread elsewhere, which is what's shown in this example. So keep in mind the 50% rule, because that's what stops someone who's got one leg going berserk without them doing anything, getting rich. And that's where it destroys that whole pyramid selling guy at the top earns all the money. You can all, I'm looking at everyone right now, no one in the company is a presidential yet. Every one of you can be a presidential before me, before Alex, before Karen, and you can earn more money than us. That's a fair compensation plan. Okay. So finally, I'm going to wrap up with this. And if there's any questions, we will have them. There's one question I'm not going to answer, and if it comes in, I'll tell you. But we will open up for some questions in a minute. before I do, I'll finish with one thing. And just so you know, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, we stop the recording when we do the questions in case we get a curveball. So you need to come on live instead. So see you live next time. The final thing I'll just explain now that you've gone through all of that. And firstly, can I see in the chat, has this been helpful? Has the penny dropped for anyone about the compensation plan? Has it made you understand it more deeply? That's my role. That's my job. That's what I'm hoping it comes out of today. Yes? Brilliant. Fantastic. All typing yes in the chat. That's good. So now that you know that, now when I say this, how hard is our comp plan and how simple is it to explain? Okay. If I sat with someone and they said, Michael, if I had $100,000 a year, I'd be free. I go, great. Well, that's roughly, without any income guarantees of structure, that is roughly what an average diamond in the past has earned. That's awesome. Let me tell you how easy it is to do this. A diamond is 3 one-star legs. Oh, and it's also 50,000 PV. Forget the 50,000 PV. Focus on 3 one-star legs, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. As I said, if you build this properly, you won't be building 3 legs to do that. You'll be going 3, then 6, then 9, and putting them in the 3 in the 6 legs. And by the time leg 3 gets to 5,000 PV, I'll guarantee you've probably got another 5,000 in your other 3 legs, and you've probably got 15,000 in the middle leg, and you've probably got 25,000 in the first leg. If you have properly empowered people with orientations and how to build the business with the Neumi 1, 2, 3 ABC, not just stacked it like throwing mud against the wall. If you've done that, that's how you do it. So forget the 50,000, focus on the 1 stars. How do you get 3 1 stars? Well, you'd be a hypocrite if you weren't a 1 star first. Can't teach what you haven't done. So become a 1 star. What's a 1 star? Really simple. And yes, Ricardo, go 6 by 6 by 6. In fact, go 9 by 9 by 9. You're only going to go 6 legs, but go sponsor 9 and teach 9 and teach 9 or more, right? But the babies will do 3. Okay. So going back to how do you become a 1 star? Well, let's do some math. 1 star is 5,000 PV. Now you could say, if you want to be really conservative, 100 PV per head, that's 50 people. So the truth is, it'll be 25 people because the average is 200, but let's go on 100, keep it conservative. So you need 50 people in your team. So you're going to go sponsor 50 people? Only if you're stupid. You're going to go out and sponsor as many as you can, but you're going to teach and you're going to slow down and do orientations and follow up with people and help them get started and help them find their first 3 people. We're just teaching 3 minimum, 3 or more, who teach 3 or more, who teach 3 or more. That's how we grow it. So how do you get to 1 star? 3, then 6, then 9, as many as you can, and duplicate it. So if you go, we said it before, if you went 3 by 3 by 3, you'll have 27. You're still not there. If you went 6 by 6 by 6, you've got more than your 50 people. So go 3 or more wide and teach 3 or more wide. And within a couple of levels, you will be a 1 star. You could do that by the time you hit your 2nd month. It's been done a lot. In fact, looking at Kevin right now, new lady in the team there, Shell just did her launch. And she's had, I don't know, 70 people look through all of the videos on playbacks and on her launch. And she's already sponsored about 4 or 5. I think she's got 4 or 5 more coming. So there's about 9 to 10 people. If Shell just duplicates that, she did that in a week, guys, 1 week, right? If Shell just duplicates that in the next week with someone else launching fast and what have you, you can see she could be a 1 star within this by the 2nd month. And that engine room of 1 star is the entire business. So we light the fuse with power of 3. Our goal is the engine room of 1 star, and then we duplicate 1 stars, and you can go crown, you can go president, you can go absolutely everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that has been really helpful, and I hope that Alfredo's kept up to me when I was speaking at this pace. I just realized in Spanish, and this is online now, and I just realized I forgot to stop the recording and have a Q&A, so I'll stop it now. And goodbye to everyone online. Oh, guess what? That was a recording.